Now, it may be the case that I need to put two small notches into the tops of the back walls here to make sure that they aren't holding anything up or pinching anything. It does look like these are going to be slightly above the walls themselves, and these still look like they're just about even with that wall piece there. So there should be nothing to worry about. And while I was thinking that that wobble mattered, once that soffit goes on, that's definitely going to lock it into place. One thing I specifically did was to put the positives on the inside faces of the tubes on both sides. So positive and positive, and so on over here. Negatives are on the outside. I put positives in the middle because if I can find the sample resistor, so I put positives in the middle so I could wire the resistor so that the body of it sits in between the fiber optic bundles. This one here is going to be a tricky fit because that is a big bundle right there, but this one will hide nicely down there. And over here, that's free and clear for a full resistor space, no problems. So I'll string those all together along the way, and then the negatives as well. I'll start from one end and work to the other, and then run the negative and positive lines down the back side of somewhere. Maybe over here, maybe over here. It's nothing serious to worry about, so no worries. But I should get the LEDs into place. I'm going with 5,000 ohm. I'm going with 5,000 ohm on each of these. I am concerned about having the soldering iron near them, so I might just pull them out again and solder them, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this quite yet. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I want to capture this entire process as best I can. So with the soldering iron on, and everything in view, except for that maybe. We'll have to work on this here. 5,000 ohm resistors. I do want to space them very particularly when I do attach them. And it looks like what I can do is once one resistor is in place, there'll be enough lead at the end of it that when the second one is in place, I can tie them off in the middle. This is going to be a very tightly enclosed space. The other option is to have the resistor come straight off the back and just kind of bunch up there, and it would likely hit the hull. No matter what, it's a tight space wherever I put them. I'm sure over time the fibers will soften, but I doubt they'd actually melt. The resistor should not be that hot. So with that mentioned, let me try and line this up as best I can here. On the inside of each of these caps I ran a silver Sharpie. I would have done a white paint marker, but the fumes are just horrible. I've already tested the LEDs to make sure they work. I want the LED set just towards the inside so I get a lot of bounce, but it's still out of sight when you're looking at it this way. Next, if you can see just underneath it, obviously it'd be easier to tell if this was lit. There is an argument for dead center. I think so. Well, that works for me. There's a look at the piece. Alright, so I'm going to have to glue that LED just a little more again. Nothing to worry about. Now if I solder this a little better, then I could trim this down just a little tighter. There, so by setting I'll set the position of the other resistor right now, in fact. I think the reason why the glue may not be sticking as well as it should is because it's going onto silver Sharpie, which I probably didn't need to put down as I did. So in all cases I want the resistor going down off the leg rather than up and around it, just to minimize the amount of overhead space that's going to be going on when the soffit's in place. So that should be good for holding it tight for a minute. So I'd rather do this from here. Nothing else is really of concern. And at this point I'm thinking I should probably glue the tops onto the tubes, so when I go to position the resistors to their ideal place I don't have to worry about these lids flying off. And I think I'd feel better if there was just the slightest bit of a notch in the wall. Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully these LEDs are going to hold better than they have so far. A couple layers of glue is all it might take, but they are getting rough handled right now pretty badly. So there is so far so good. Lessons to keep in mind are that these resistors will definitely be getting hot. There aren't a lot of good options for this guy right here. I can keep these fibers away just a little further, but not too much. But this one here is settled nice and deep. You can't even see it past the bundle. There we go. Plenty of space back there. Air should rise, and it will be expelled because there are some exits going on around here, so I'm not too worried about absolute heat buildup, but it's definitely a concern, especially for that single fiber optic right there. So I guess the next step is getting this into place. So I guess once I'm sure that these are settled into place, I'll come along and wire everything up.